have Saesha Goyal with the brand Start Art, an art subscription box.
Good morning, everyone. I am Saesha Goyal, and here's presenting Start. Why the name Start? The name Start has the word art in it, which is the main purpose of my brand. I want to encourage people to start making art and journaling, even if they think they're bad at it. Plus, the first two letters are ST, which are also the first two letters of the word stationery. The idea. What exactly is Start? Start is an art subscription box. Every month, people who subscribe will receive a box filled with aesthetic stationery and art supplies. There will be two kinds of boxes, which I will now talk about. Type 1. Like mentioned, there will be two different boxes, a basic box and a premium box. The basic box will include a variety of different stationery items that can be used for journaling, etc. The items will not be from a renowned brand and will be more generic than more affordable. Type 2. This is a long-term goal for the company. There will be a featured artist every month. The box will include art supplies used by that specific artist for their artwork. This could potentially turn into a masterclass where that particular artist creates short videos demonstrating on how to use the supplies correctly and efficiently. As of right now, I've spoken to 8 artists and 2 are already on board. Competition and differentiator. Within India, I have identified the Dwendy and Zoe boxes as competition and abroad Scroller box and art snacks. The Dwendy and Zoe box offers novelty stationery and do not have the featured artists. The Scroller box and art snacks do have featured artists, no masterclass, take very long to ship and have a high customs tax. Market research. According to my market research survey, I have identified my target audience between the ages of 12 and 18. A large majority said that they were into art and struggled to find aesthetic stationery in India. The most likely subscription period for the box would be 3 months and the price would be Rs 1,000 to 1,500 per month. Marketing. The best way to market this product would be through advertisement on social media platforms like Instagram, since our target audience consists of teenagers. Also, the individual artists will promote the brand on their pages, increasing the following of the brand. Financials. Here are my unit financials for the basic and the premium box. The selling price for the basic box will be 1,500 per month and the premium box will be 5,000 rupees per month. The gross profit per unit for the basic box will be Rs 300 and for the premium box will be Rs 1,500. Here are a few prototype images for the box. And this is the mock website, which shall be launched in the future. Thank you.
Saesha, I think it's a great idea. To be honest, I think for far too long, India has been on the throes of engineering and medicine as the only two things that people can study, maybe chartered accountancy along with that. We need to start bringing in art and creativity and other things into the ecosystem. And that, I think, is the big cause that you're actually, sort of going after, right? It's not just that you're giving art to people, you're actually changing the diversity of the nation to move from only one or two things to make it much wider, much better. So, power to you. I think that's the first part I would like to make. I think your thinking is pretty impeccable. You don't want to just create products that you will sell. You want to create a lifestyle. You want to create a service. You want to create a subscription model. All of those are absolutely the right kind of things to think about when you're thinking about it, right? So absolutely right. The one thing that I would perhaps suggest to you is at this point in time, the way it's configured, you are appealing to those people that already love art. Right? So maybe you might want to expand that to say, hey, you might be doing deep sciences, you might be doing math, you might be doing engineering, you might be doing business, but why don't you think about art as an alternative, as a recreation, as a hobby, as something else that you want to sort of, focus on, and try and widen the market around that to make sure that more people start to buy this. The pleasure of sort of doing something on the canvas or doing something, it's very creative, right? You get a lot of joy out of it. It's like a lot of people take up gardening for this. There are lots of those kinds of things that actually make a difference. The fact that I can work with my hands and create something, I think, is such a powerful urge, right? So one thing is expand the market in some way for you to make the storyline work a little better. That would be the one thing that I would say. The other thing that I would say, you're onto something really hot when you're saying I'll bring artists to come and teach you things, right? Everybody likes to learn from somebody. And if you acknowledge that somebody is a guru or an expert on something, and they come and tell you, hey, you do it this way, you do it that way, it's always a pleasure, right? So, and I think, that entire game of trying to create as many artists, as many people as you can bring onto the table, because for them also it's a win-win, right? Because their fame increases, their products might sell, their services might sell. So it's a win-win. So focus on the network more than on the customer itself, right? So the customer will come once the artists are there. So between the two, I would say go after this ecosystem and expand the scope of this to make it a larger ecosystem. Something very hot could emerge indeed. Best of luck.
Thank you.
I totally agree with Rajiv on those 2 points. First is, I thought the brand was phenomenal, right? Start. And I thought that start meant not stationary in art, but start art. You're not interested in art, you know nothing about art. I certainly know absolutely nothing about art. My 4-year-old son knows absolutely, well, he's getting into it now. But imagine this idea of like a starter pack for art is as powerful as, and it's not just limited to stationery. It can be paints, it can be crayons, it can be anything. So there's a lot of runway there. And to Rajiv's point about the network, because I was like, oh, the subscription model is interesting. But when I heard about the artist, I was like, well, that's more interesting than just a subscription model. Completely beyond price, whether 1,000 rupees a month seems like a lot, but I'm sure you can figure something out. But what's interesting about the network also is, I know we talked about the education startup where we asked, well, what's the incentive for the education guy, for the student at Yale to show up? You may have to pay that person to show up to your platform. To Rajiv's point, you may not need to pay the artist if they have an incentive like, I want to sell more products. You can then include their products in your box, and it will literally be a free sample. And then they'll pay you for the right to have their free sample in your box because you're helping them acquire customers. And then the quality of your business model changes because now 2 people are paying you, not just the consumer, but also the artist. And that's when the story gets really, really interesting as well. So there's some really interesting angles you can start pursuing here.
Yes, I will definitely do that.
Good luck.
Thank you.
I endorse the brand idea. So Nitin picked up on that. Absolutely spot on. Love it. And because of not just the fact that it's stationary, it's also a start. There's so many, implications that are coming out of it. Those kinds of brands are brilliant. When it makes people think about what it means. Love it.
Thank
Congratulations.
Thank you, Saesha.